At the heart of Islamic religious life are a set of core practices known as the 5 pillars of Islam. These pillars are not abstract beliefs, but lived duties that shape a Muslim's daily actions, moral outlook, and relationship with God. Together they define what it means to submit to God, a concept that lies at the very center of the Islamic faith. The first and most fundamental pillar is a declaration of faith. A Muslim openly affirms, "There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet." This brief statement expresses 2 essential beliefs: the absolute oneness of God and Muhammad's role as God's messenger. Everything else in Islam flows from this declaration. Without it, none of the other religious obligations can have meaning. The second pillar is regular prayer. Muslims are required to pray 5 times each day, at dawn, noon, mid-afternoon, sunset, and night, creating a rhythm of worship that structures daily life around remembrance of God. These prayers can be performed wherever a person happens to be, but men are especially encouraged to attend the communal Friday noon prayer at a mosque, where a learned Muslim delivers a sermon. Before praying, believers must enter a state of ritual purity by washing the face, arms to the elbows, and feet to the ankles. Because Islam originated in desert regions where water might be scarce, the faith allows for symbolic purification using clean sand when necessary. This emphasis on cleanliness reinforces the idea that spiritual discipline and physical action are closely linked. The third pillar is almsgiving. In Islam, caring for others is not merely an act of personal generosity, but a religious obligation. What began as voluntary charity evolved into a formal religious tax, typically 2.5% of one's accumulated wealth, once Islam developed political authority. These funds are used to support the community by assisting the poor, maintaining mosques, funding hospitals and orphanages, and sustaining charitable institutions. Zakat reflects Islam's insistence that faith must express itself in social responsibility and economic justice. The fourth pillar is the fast observed during the holy month of Ramadan. Because Islam follows a lunar calendar of 354 days, Ramadan moves through the seasons over time. During daylight hours throughout this month, Muslims abstain from food, drink, smoking, medicine, and sexual activity. Far from being merely a test of endurance, fasting serves as a period of reflection, repentance, and spiritual discipline. By temporarily setting aside physical needs, believers are reminded of human dependence on God and the suffering of those who lack basic necessities. The fifth pillar is the Hajj, the pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca. In the earliest days of Islam, Muslims were encouraged to make this journey annually, but as the faith spread across vast territories, from Arabia to North Africa and Spain, this expectation became impractical. The requirement was therefore adjusted. Every Muslim should attempt the pilgrimage at least once in their lifetime, provided they are physically and financially able. The Hajj powerfully symbolizes the unity of the Islamic world as believers from countless cultures and languages gather to perform the same rituals. It is worth noting that access to the cities of Mecca and Medina is restricted to Muslims alone. Beyond the 5 pillars, Islam includes an important and often misunderstood concept, jihad, which means struggle. Traditionally, jihad refers to the obligation to strive in the path of God through personal moral improvement, righteous action, speaking truth, and, in certain historical contexts, armed defense of the community. In the modern Western world, the term is frequently reduced to its most militant interpretation, often associated with extremist violence. Historically, however, jihad has taken many forms and has been closely tied to political movements, national struggles, and ethical self-discipline. Not all Muslims interpret or act upon militant conceptions of jihad, and proclamations of jihad, such as those directed against the State of Israel, are not universally accepted or followed. Underlying all of these practices is Islam's strong emphasis on moral virtue and ethical conduct. Submission to God is not limited to ritual observance. It demands right action. A good Muslim is expected to do what is right and ensure that justice prevails, while avoiding wrongdoing and resisting injustice wherever it appears. Integrity, responsibility, and ethical behavior, both in public life and private conduct, are therefore central to Islamic belief. In this way, Islam presents a comprehensive vision of faith, one that unites belief, worship, law, and moral responsibility into a single way of life.